There's a hidden part of your INFP personality that is trapping you in future anxiety spirals. Most INFPs don't even know it exists. In this video, I'll reveal this mental pattern disrupting your clarity and motivation and peace of mind. I'm Matt Sherman. I am an INFP. I've coached over 100 INFPs one-on-one, and I've personally battled this issue for years before understanding what was really happening. While your main mode of exploring ideas handles multiple possibilities with ease, this shadow function, introverted intuition, does the exact opposite. And one of the most difficult aspects is that you've probably mistaken this horrible future as an actual accurate prediction. I know I used to do this until I realized what was going on. So here's what's really happening in your mind when this switch occurs. Your mind operates in two very different, distinct systems. So have you ever noticed how you can go from seeing endless possibilities to being trapped in one terrible future scenario? So one minute you're brainstorming, you're creative, you got all these different solutions, and then the next you're convinced that everything will fall apart, and in a very specific way. It's that feeling when you're convinced that your relationship will end in a specific way or your career will fail following this exact pattern. Like you just know it to be true. It usually happens for me in a physical way. Like I have 100% clear knowing that the car is going to swerve off the road at the exact time that my daughter steps off of a curb. And I feel like I have to say something in order to intervene in destiny. And understanding this difference is the first step to recognizing when you are being hijacked by NI. So the key to breaking free is understanding that the horrible future that you're convinced will happen isn't actually an accurate prediction at all. It's your shadow functions, specifically introverted intuition, creating what feels like certainty, because it's really just one possible outcome among many, but it's got so much conviction around it. Your thoughts feel locked into one track. You might find yourself saying things like, I know exactly what will happen, or this always ends the same way. And that feeling of inevitability is a dead giveaway that you're being hijacked by the mystic. So let's talk about how your mind normally works as an INFP though. Your extroverted intuition, the explorer, is constantly scanning for possibilities. When you think about the future, this function naturally generates multiple different pathways, different timelines. You might wonder what would happen if you took a new job, or what it might be like to move to a new city, or how a relationship might change and develop. Your explorer loves to connect ideas that seem unrelated and make analogies between the different situations. NE, extroverted intuition, the explorer, is divergent ideation. And NI, introverted intuition, the mystic, one in your shadow, is convergent ideation. Extroverted intuition thrives on that divergent approach. It takes one situation and expands it off into countless different possible outcomes. This is your natural state. This is a strength for you. It's exciting. The explorer helps you feel comfortable with uncertainty because it sees opportunity everywhere. If someone asks you about your 5-year plan, you might laugh because you see so many different directions that your life could go. And that flexibility isn't indecision necessarily. It's your explorer doing what it does best. Its job is not to decide. Its job is to show you new novel connections. But there's another part of your mind that works differently. Introverted intuition, the mystic, operates through convergent thinking. So instead of expanding on all these different possibilities, it narrows down to identify one underlying pattern. This is the most probable way that things are going. And if you think about it like this, the explorer and the mystic, it's like having a creative, excitable artist, and for us, a pessimistic and harsh critic living in your head. The artist sees potential everywhere, and it sketches out all these different scenarios and connects the dots in very unexpected and excitable ways. The mystic takes all this information that your unconscious mind has been exposed to and gathered, and it weaves it into this one unavoidable narrative. So when your mystic is set on a vision and it takes over, it doesn't necessarily feel like you're being negative or irrational. It feels like you're finally seeing the truth. So your explorer is saying, it might be fun. You never know what's going to happen. It could go differently. And the mystic is whispering, here's how it all will fall apart. The key difference is in the quality of the feeling itself. For us, NE, extroverted intuition, the explorer feels open and exploratory. It presents possibilities without demanding that you accept them as fact. It's always, it could go this way. It might be like this. You feel curious rather than trapped. And the mystic, feels closed and predetermined. It presents one outcome as the inevitable outcome, and it shuts down the other possibilities before you can even consider them. So here are 3 different steps, a 3-step method that you can use to interrupt the pattern and get back to your normal, natural, positive mode. First, notice the rigidity. When you catch yourself in that locked-in thinking pattern, recognize it for what it is. Your natural explorer thinking feels, again, open and exploratory. There's room to play. There's more movement. There's more flexibility. Shadow mystic thinking feels closed and predetermined. 2, question the inevitability. Ask yourself, what are 3 other ways that this could possibly play out? Don't worry if the alternatives feel forced or unrealistic at first. A dragon might swoop in to pick up the car with its claws and save the day. What you're doing is you're intentionally interrupting an unhelpful pattern and allowing your brain to go back to this natural state of generating different multiple possibilities. So say you're convinced that your relationship is heading towards a specific kind of conflict. Your mystic might have you certain that your partner will react in a certain way and cause this whole big thing to spiral out of control in the exact scenario that you've mapped out. It's got some conviction attached to it. So when you feel that, stop and deliberately engage in your explorer. What if they surprise you with a deep understanding of what you're explaining? What if the conversation leads to some better connection? What if you discover something that you hadn't considered before? There are other options. Number 3, get real-world feedback. So safety is important. The sooner that you can take an action that checks whether or not this prediction is true and throw a magical monkey wrench into the mix, the easier it will be to take a different, meaningful action. So talk to the person. I could intervene and hold my daughter's hand to make sure that it's not going to happen. Do some research about the probability of whatever the doomsday event is. So the key here is to reality check your predictions against your current evidence, not just your fears. Comparing predictions to real-world data snaps you out of that NI fixation, the mystic scrying fixation. So once I was anxious about a health concern. My mystic locked on into a fixed, catastrophic prediction. Using this 3-step process, I was able to spot the rigidity, I challenged the inevitability of it, and I checked for counter evidence. And I saw that my fears were just worries, they were not facts. This is the pattern that has helped me time and time again. So your brain has this incredible ability called neuroplasticity. Every time you practice interrupting these shadow patterns and consciously engaging with your explorer, you're weakening the hold of negative thinking and you're strengthening those neural pathways that help you think laterally to different possibilities, different outcomes. You're making it easier for your mind to focus on its natural state of possibility generation and thinking rather than rigid prediction. It's about returning to your authentic way of processing possibilities and options and ideas. And when you understand these differences, you can start taking control back over your life. So the next time that you feel trapped in future anxiety, notice that it's not you. It's just your introverted intuition, your mystic, and it needs to be redirected. So if this has helped you understand your INFP personality type better, go to geekpsychology.com/INFP 5-day to get your free INFP personality type tutorial course, and join 5,000 plus other INFPs getting weekly emails with INFP self-coaching tools. See you there.